Good morning, good morning. This is Sarah with Life with Training Wheels here for your August 16th through August 24th horoscope in reverse, as well as looking forward to the new moon coming up this weekend. It is a big new moon. It's going to be a big deal. It is, even though it is not an eclipse itself, it is attached to eclipse season that is going to begin next month. So this is a really big new moon that we are going to experience this weekend that is potentially going to have shakeups along with it, or if they don't show up this weekend, they are attached to unpredictability is attached to this new moon energy coming up. So even if it doesn't manifest right away this weekend, it will be attached to both the eclipse energy, which can last, upwards of 6 months or so, or at least this new moon cycle, which also really lasts 6 months until we get to this is a new moon in Virgo, so it could last until we get to the full moon in Virgo in about 6 months, or the unpredictable nature of this new moon could last, just until the next new moon, or full moon, which is going to be the first eclipse of this season. So regardless, there's the signature of the unpredictability, the signature of this new moon coming up is Uranus. There also is the chart pattern of a yod, which is called the finger of God. So this is a very big new moon that you will want to continue to watch and pay attention to. If you are new here, thanks for joining. Thanks for finding me. I'm Sarah with Life with Training Wheels, where I use astrology, tarot, meditation, other spiritual tools, and natural health practices to help you find your true center, to help you on your self-discovery journey, and to help you reclaim your power, let go of any victim mentality, find those subconscious thought patterns that kind of govern your life that you're not aware of, kind of help identify those, and just really help you on your journey of empowering and taking control of your own life. So if like the sound of that, hit the like button, subscribe so you can get notified of all my videos. Like I said, we are going to be doing a little bit in reverse as well as going forward. I just want to go over last weekend through this weekend so we can kind of see the setup of this new moon and everything. Starting off last Saturday, August 16th, we had Venus in Cancer in a trine with the North Node in Pisces. So very watery trine, very beautiful trine, helping us align like our love and finances and relationships and our value system with our intuition, number one, bringing in hopefully more clarity around what our potential new value system is. Over this whole year, we've been working a ton with Venus, as well as bringing in compassion, like compassion for ourselves, compassion for others, and helping us recognize where and how to feel safe, right? The Cancer energy is how we feel safe, how we like to nurture, how we nurture others as well. It's that whole nurturing aspect. It is also like a protective of home and family type energy, and Venus is our love, our money, our romances, and the North Node is where we're meant to go. So hopefully this energy was aligning us with all these transits, if it's not hitting your chart directly, it may not be an event or anything like that manifests like super in your face. But considering this was a trine with the North Node, it was definitely aligning all of us with a direction that we're supposed to be going, with aligning our intuition, perhaps. I think a lot of what's going on with humanity as a whole is reconnecting, for those who want it, for those who are choosing it, is reconnecting and opening up our channels of being able to connect to our higher selves, being able to connect to source, being able to connect and have that more intimate relationship with God. And I think the North Node in Pisces is helping us all with that. And then Venus in Cancer, very watery, very intuitive sign itself, that trine was helping us with that. If this interacted with you more personally, you may have had people show up in your life that are very important for you going forward. You may have had a job opportunity or something like that show up that is going to help you forward. You may have had something involving, a property or real estate or something surrounding your home that is moving you in the direction that you are supposed to be going with that connection with the North Node. So looking in reverse, I love looking at astrology in hindsight. I'd love to hear any comments below on how this may or may not have manifested for you. But even if it didn't hit your chart specifically and nothing manifested, it is this underlying energy affecting all of us, aligning us to our path that we are supposed to be going down. Then last Sunday, August 17th, we had Mercury in Leo, which is now, direct, but still in its shadow period, and a sextile with Mars. This was the second exact sextile. The other one happened last week. And it's going to be within this 1 degree orb until the date that I'm recording this, which is August 21st. So this hopefully has been really nice energy to work with this first part of the week. So it's a good energy for bold, courageous, but fair conversations, because that Mars in Leo or in Libra really wants to be fair. And the Mercury in Leo gives us the boldness and courage. So does Mars, but it really wants us to be fair. Mars also gives us our motivation and things like that. So it hopefully has been a good time to move forward on any projects, social media, commerce. Mercury rules commerce, anything related to your heart, your passions, your creativity projects. Leo is all about those types of things. Potentially any legal matters, because Libra is about those type of things. So hopefully you have had some good forward momentum. And then, considering that until the 25th, Mercury retrograde is still in its post-shadow period, or pre-shadow period. It's in its shadow period. It's not out of shadow yet. It will be out of its shadow on the 25th. But so potentially anything that you're, have been making progress on is really finding the solutions to any problems that had come up during Mercury retrograde or something along those lines. So again, I'd be interested to hear how this energy has manifested for you as well. Okay. So next we move on to Friday, August 22nd. And this day, the moon right here, which right now is showing at 17 degrees of Leo. And this is basically at, midnight or so on August 22nd, because I have it set for the exact time of the new moon, which will be happening August 23rd in my time zone, Mountain Standard Time. So it might be happening for you on Friday, August 22nd, or Saturday, August 23rd. But anyway, I have this for basically midnight, August 22nd. So this moon will be moving into Virgo at 1:34 p.m. in the afternoon on August 22nd. So that is the start of Virgo season. So with that, we're all going to, first of all, happy birthday to all the Virgos. But second of all, the moon is, or the sun is kind of where we are directing our energy, our vitality, our life force, right? It may not be where our mind always is, because that's more Mercury. It may not be where our emotions always are. That's our moon, but it is kind of more where we are directing our willpower and things of that nature, where we are just overall more focused in life. So the Virgo type energy, where we are going to be, or how we're going to have our energy focused, is the sun in Virgo is going to be more detail oriented, more wanting to get our ducks in a row, more wanting to have the plan to take care of our health, perhaps, to have, to perhaps declutter, to just have things more better organized, to have a plan, to know what we're doing, where we're going, have a structure, have a routine. Those are going to be the types of energies that we are going to all experience over the next month or so. And it makes perfect sense that it aligns with the back to school season, right? Everybody's getting their school planners, getting all their, getting organized for school, figuring out their new routines for school. Like, this is the season that we are in. And Virgo, the sun in Virgo, very much supports that season. So I would like to offer to all those Virgo birthday people 25% off a solar return reading. Link will be in the description box below for that. So if you've never had a solar return reading, it's basically looking at your natal chart and then overlaying your birthday chart along with that, and seeing, your natal chart is your life themes, your life blueprint. But your birthday chart, your solar return chart, is just kind of where you're going to be focused. It's like a chapter within your overall book. It helps indicate where you're going to be focused, what types of things you're going to be encountering this next year. So if that is something you're interested, again, the link is in the description box below. So the other thing to look at is look at where Virgo falls for you in your chart, what house, and that house will give you more indication as well on what area of life you personally are going to be more focused on. So I do, if you don't know how to pull up your birth chart, I'll link right here, I believe, a video that I recently did on how to pull up your birth chart. So that'll give you a better idea on what area of life you will be focused on over the next month or so. So then the other thing we have going on that hits exact before this new moon is Venus in Cancer. Right here is squaring Chiron in Aries. There. It's in this square here, and this is kind of another healing moment, kind of like the sun had interacted with Chiron last week, but this one may not feel as good because it's that square energy. So this might arise as tension in love or finances, especially in regards to home, property, any shame or guilt or wounds we have regarding our self-image, our I am, especially perhaps as it relates to the home because Venus is in Cancer, and our love and our finances. So any, and Chiron in Aries is working with our I am, where we have kind of diminished our own self-identity for the sake of others, where we have felt any shame or guilt about who we are. So this Venus in a square, Venus is very loving. Venus, even when it's in squares, is typically a good, it brings some love with it. So hopefully this is a very healing energy. But again, with the square, it might show up as tension. It might show up as some action that you need to take in order to, like in love or finances or related to your home in particular, to kind of spur on this healing that needs to happen internally for you. Let's see. Yeah, maybe something in the home triggers a wound for us to see and work through. That could be possible with that. Okay, I had to take my kids to school, so I don't remember exactly where I left off on the new moon discussion, so I'm just going to start over. So first, before we dive into how this is eclipse related and everything, we're going to back up and talk about new moons. We did a little bit. New moons in general, it's when the sun and the moon are aligned in the sky. They're conjunct. So this is a time when our ego, our desires, what we're putting our focus and attention on is aligned with our emotional nature. So it's a great time. That's why it's a great time to plant seeds of new intention, start new goals, clear out, finish clearing out the things that have not been working, to be able to plant those seeds, finish the weeding that we started at the full moon, prepare the soil, prepare the foundation, and plant the seeds. That is what new moons are about, because our mind, our emotions, and our desires of where and our focus are aligned. So then in Virgo, in the sign of Virgo, new moons are about setting intentions and developing new goals and things like that related to our daily habits, routines, related to, like we talked about with the sun moving into Virgo, related to how we want to get organized, what lists we want to make, things like that. But there is also the South Node in Virgo, so at the same time, we're working on releasing those detail-oriented tasks. We're working on releasing those more negative traits of Virgo that maybe got us too out of control with it. Like maybe we're too rigid with our schedule. Maybe we're too rigid with our expectations of ourselves and of other people, right? Virgo can be a little bit judgmental. So with the South Node there, along with this new moon, there's this building and letting go at the same time. It's letting go of those lower manifestations of the Virgo energy and what is no longer serving us, and thinking about and building up, well, what does serve us, right? Like we have all these goals and things that we're starting over here with Saturn and Neptune, right? Like that's where our chart is really guiding us to. That's where this mini grand trine is still guiding us to. So this new moon is kind of giving us a chance to figure out how, along with Saturn, to figure out how to make these things reality. What organization, what lists, what habits and routines can we put into place that are not too restrictive, that allow us to be in this Pisces North Node and go with the flow of things. So like, how can we have structure and flow at the same time, I think is what we are trying to build right now. So that is the energy of the new moon in Virgo and a little bit of the energy of this new moon. So then I like to take these new moon and full moon videos kind of step by step with what is, so next, I explained what a Virgo new moon is. So now we want to look at what this new moon in particular, what conversations it's making, because that's what makes each full and new moon in each sign different every year, are the conversations that it's having. So this new moon is making, I'm going to switch to align. This new moon is making a trine to Chiron, which that is providing some healing energy. And while it's no longer in a sign-based trine, meaning, this is at 26 degrees of Aries in a fire sign, and, if the moon was still in Leo, that would be a fire, they would have fire in common. But now the new moon and the sun have moved on to Virgo, which is an earth sign. So this trine, I really feel like it's taking that healing opportunity that the sun was shining a light on Chiron, and any like sparks of new ideas or creativity or courage that Leo was kind of imbuing onto healing this wound in our self-identity, and being courageous enough to confidently be who we are and in all our quirkiness and everything. Now with the moon and the sun moving on into Virgo, it's kind of giving us an opportunity to really ground this healing in. So I think that's beautiful. So we are still working with the healing energy of healing ourselves and being comfortable and confident with who we are and what we have to offer this world. And we're being, with this new moon, given an opportunity to ground in to reality, ground into like what things can we do in our daily lives to confidently express ourselves. I think that's one thing that this new moon is offering us an experience for. And the other thing, which I said before, just talking about the sun moving into Virgo, but same with this new moon. You'll want to see what house Virgo rules for you. And that will give you even more clues to what is being highlighted, what area of your life is being highlighted with this. So there's that. I think that's really beautiful. So the other aspect that's going on here is this square to Uranus here in Gemini. So this is where the unpredictability comes in. And this this square becomes exact the day after the new moon. So it is active during this new moon because it's within a 1 degree conjunction, but it does become exact the next day on Sunday. So it is significant energy. It's very strong energy at this new moon. And Uranus and Gemini, so this is a conjunction that opposition that likely nobody that's alive right now has experienced before, because it only happens about every 80 years. And that's because of the fact that Uranus moves through each sign so slowly. It takes Uranus 7 to 8 years to move through each sign. So it's been 80 years since, or 80 to 84, along with the fact that all these, this mini grand trine and all these conversations that these other outer planets are having are once in a lifetime, once in 100 to 1,000 years conversations. The fact that this is a once in a lifetime conversation as well. And we'll be having this conversation yearly until Uranus moves signs again. So over the next 7 to 8 years, this is an opposition that we will be repeating once a year. But it only happens every 80 years. So this is a big deal, and it is bringing a bit of unpredictability. Uranus is the planet of liberation, it's where we want to break out of the box of things. It is where sudden events, sudden flashes of insight, sudden things happen. It's like a lightning bolt. It comes out of nowhere. So with Uranus, it's always expect the unexpected. And in Gemini is about communication, it's about learning, it's about technology, it's about multiple options, right? Gemini is the twins, it's about polarity. In and of itself, Uranus and Gemini is disrupting those types of things. On a more global scale, it can be disrupting education, it can be disrupting travel. Gemini also kind of rules short distance travel. It can be, it's an air sign, so it could be disrupting things in the air, whether that's air traffic, air waves, technology, illnesses, anything, the cloud seeding, anything that is going on in the air, it can represent that. It can represent just all forms of communication. Gemini also, and Mercury, which rules Gemini, are about commerce and things like that. So that things in those areas of your life could be having some disruptions as well. Disruptions in your travel, disruptions with your vehicles, disruptions or sudden insights or opportunities. The disruptions don't have to be either negative or positive, right? It's something unexpected. It's something that you haven't planned for showing up, being taken away, or just happening. Information coming, being uncovered. Disruptions in your travel, your automobiles, your communication, maybe how you communicate on social media, or what you think, or how you use social media. Anything regarding business and commerce for you, those types of things. And then the Virgo energy, so our attention is in the structures that we want to build, and the details we want to have, and the tangible proof, right? Virgo is an earth sign, and it wants tangible proof. It wants to touch it, taste it, smell it, feel it, all those things. Hear it. And Uranus is in Gemini is saying, well, you might not get to. So it's giving disruption to those things. So so we are having, like I talked about, we're having this mini grand trine, and it's still pretty exact. And in the last video I talked about how trines are great. Trines are beneficial, whether it's a grand trine or a mini grand trine. Trines and sextiles are amazing. It's an easy flow of energy, but sometimes because it's so easy flowing, it goes unnoticed. So we don't necessarily take action on doing what we may need to do in order to get the best out of this trine. So with this opposition at this new moon to Uranus shaking things up, Uranus is connected to this mini grand trine. So not only is it activating and having us, make a decision, shaking things up with the goals that we're trying to plant, it's also activating, the point of this mini grand trine is this Saturn-Neptune conjunction, this 0 degree, 1 degree Aries point of really building something new, making our dreams a reality, that Neptune-Saturn combination. And so I think this new moon is really overall being connected through these Uranus disruptions that might be coming through to how we can ground in our dreams into reality, right? Uranus is providing some more shakeup. It's providing decisions that we need to make. It's providing something. Who knows what it is providing, but it's doing something for us that's activating this new moon energy to really put into plan, figure out how to make these dreams tangible, to work with Saturn and put these things into, start making lists, even if we're not ready to act on it, because Neptune and Saturn are retrograde, and Mercury still, which is the ruler of Gemini and Virgo, still, although it's direct, it's not out of its shadow period yet. It won't be until the 25th. So it's almost like with this new moon energy, we want to set the intentions. We want to make the lists. We want to make a rough draft of what it is that we are trying to build next, where we want to go. But with the Uranus energy and with these planets in retrograde, we need to keep in mind that it's likely not going to go the way that we are planning. And we need to be open to these sudden changes, these sudden roadblocks that may happen that make us take a new turn or something like that. We have to be open with it and be willing to roll with the punches, because whatever disruption we are going to be having is going to be working in our favor. So the more we roll with it rather than the more we kick and scream if it feels like a more negative disruptive energy, which sometimes it can, with a square, it can feel a little bit more disruptive. But we have that beautiful, divine mini grand trine supporting everything, all the energy that's going on. So overall, it's really good, and it's helping us activate and put into plan where we're supposed to be going. That's really all that is directly connected to the new moon, but then I always like to look at what the ruler of the new moon is going through and what connections it's making. So the ruler of Virgo, the planetary ruler of Virgo, like I just talked about, is Mercury. So let's see what Mercury is doing. Like I said, Mercury is direct. So we should be getting some forward movement. Things should be, moving. We should not have as many technology mishaps other than what Uranus brings in. But and then new moon too, with the Uranus energy, it could be bringing in like new technology for us to use. Like the things that it could be bringing in are really cool, right? But anyway, so Mercury is in Leo. It's confident in conversation, in communication. It's courageous communication. It's heart-centered communication, heart-centered thought processes and emotions and things like that. But it is not, like I said, out of its shadow period. So it is still this, we still have this opportunity. Any mishaps that came up, any miscommunications that came up during Mercury retrograde, if they are revisiting right now until the 25th or so, when Mercury leaves its shadow period, post-shadow period, it's a great opportunity to work through those things. So, but it is direct, it's in Leo, it's bold, it's courageous, it's very heart-centered, it's very creative. Like we could have a lot of Mercury in Leo is a lot of creative energy. It's a lot of passion. It's a lot of, we could be having a lot more conversations and communication with our kids or with our romantic partners. Like and more passionate communication. But so what conversations is Mercury having? Well, so first of all, also that brings, with it ruling the new moon, that's bringing a lot of creativity and things like that to our mind to encourage to be able to set these new goals, new intentions into process, and to be able to take these dreams and things in Aries with Neptune and Saturn and figure out a way to make them happen in creative ways, and to make sure that our heart is in it as well. So, what conversations is Mercury having? So Mercury is having a sextile, which is a supportive energy, to Mars in Libra. And this is the conversation that we talked about at the beginning of this video. It's very supportive of wanting things to be fair, thinking about not just ourselves, because Leo can be kind of, just thinking about ourselves, right? But Mars brings in this energy of, well, yeah, but I don't just want to act, right? Mars is our willpower and our action. I don't just want to act on my behalf. I want to act and make sure that it's fair for everybody. Make sure that I'm thinking about everybody. Make sure that it's not just good for me, but that it's good for my partner. It's good for those that are closest to me in my life. So that is really beautiful, that it's bringing in this energy of, well, my goals aren't just about me, because my life isn't just about me. I am the creator of my life, but I have all these important people, and I need to make sure that my goals are kind of aligning with their goals, and that, we're working together. So then, since Mercury is making an aspect to that, Mars, we want to see what conversations Mars is having as well, because that's influencing the conversation that it's having with Mercury. So Mars is in this square. Mars is in this square. And it is it looks like an approaching square to Jupiter. And Jupiter in Cancer. And this is a malefic planet squaring a benefic planet. And Jupiter, can exaggerate things. So it might exaggerate, maybe there are things here that this Jupiter opposition is exaggerating the energy of Mars, that is like the separating energy, right? Mars can cut things off. Mars can say no. Mars um, uh, can end things. So maybe this Jupiter is expanding that energy, saying, well, we need to cut things off. Jupiter is also about fairness and about legal matters and things like that. So maybe this is amplifying the Mars energy of diplomacy in Libra. Because a lot of times a square with a benefic planet is not necessarily bad. I don't think squares overall are bad. It's just that it is a challenging energy. So this Jupiter, maybe a teacher is coming in that is challenging our willpower with, or the home, right? Cancer, Jupiter in Cancer is kind of about our emotional safety and our home and property matters. So maybe there's something going on there as well with that square. But the other thing when we look at Jupiter, besides this square, is it is in a trine to the north node and a sextile to the south node. The north node over here in Pisces and the south node over here in Virgo. So this Jupiter, besides the fact that the new moon is in Virgo with the south node, this Jupiter being brought into the conversation, trining the north node and sextiling the south node, is really bringing that eclipse energy to this. So it's almost like it is preparing us, like it's bringing in. Jupiter is helping, and this new moon in Virgo is helping us bring in the new, while, the next new moon in Virgo is going to be at the 29th degree. The 29th degree is all about letting go. It's about making the final, we started at 0 degrees, we started some new things, some new plans. The 29th degree is, okay, it's time to let go of whatever needs to be let go in this area of our life. And so I feel like this could be one of two things. This could be new things that are starting over the next 6 months cycle. And I think it could be both, right? And it's imbued with this unpredictable nature of Uranus, right? So that's going to be imbued over the next 6 months. A lot of unpredictability in this area of your chart, perhaps. Sudden things coming in, sudden things leaving, sudden insights coming in, new technology that's being used, technology that's being taken, like all the whole gamut. But with the new moon here at 0 degrees, and just gently pulling in the nodes, I think it really is helping us move in the right direction of building, right? Acting on this building principle. Now, when we get to the new moon eclipse, at the end of September and at the 29th degree of Virgo, I think that's when we'll be letting things go. Whether it's letting things go that haven't panned out, that we set intentions for at this new moon, or letting go, working more strongly with the south node energy of letting go of anything that has been holding us back, any of the more negative manifestations of the Virgo energy, the lower vibrational manifestations of the Virgo energy, and letting those go. I think this is really beautiful. But with the Uranus energy and with the eclipse energy, it's kind of like we don't know. We don't know what that is. We don't know how it's going to show up. We don't know how things are going to come in. We don't know how things are going to be taken away. It's kind of like, it's like the pop-up thing where you spin the knob, pop goes the weasel. It's kind of, Uranus is kind of, and eclipses both are kind of like this pop goes the weasel energy. We know something's coming, but we don't know when, and we don't know exactly how or what's going to pop out of it. We know that it's coming. So roll with that with this new moon, and I think you'll be okay. So really the things to look for in your own personal chart would be to first and foremost have an understanding of where Virgo is in your chart. Because this is one of the main focus areas. I would say the 3 areas you want to really focus on are where Virgo is, because that's where this new moon, that's where we're setting intentions, that's potentially where we're going to have the shakeups impacting, right? Then I would be aware of where, this Aries energy, this Neptune, Saturn, we're going to be working with that a lot. All of us collectively and individually are really building something there. So how can, figure out where Aries is, what house that's in your chart too, and how can these 2 signs work together? And they are in conjunct, which means they don't have anything in common by nature. Right? Like this is a fire cardinal sign, and this is a earth mutable sign. So they don't have anything in common. So it's typically hard for them to see each other, harder for them to understand each other, these areas of our lives. And so see where these are falling in your chart, and I think we're really being asked to work with figuring out how to build these energies together, how to take this overarching goal, these dreams, these visions, and really think while Saturn and Neptune are in retrograde, and start coming up with the plans here in Virgo, the details, the organization, the lists, the clearing out the clutter that's getting in the way, those types of things. But realize that what we think were the foundations that we think we're laying down, there's going to be disruption to them. It's not going to happen exactly how we want them to. So just knowing that, having the goals in mind, that this is what I want or better, right? And the or better can sometimes happen and feel like, when shakeups come, it can feel disruptive in a way that we're like, well, this isn't better. But then maybe in hindsight, we look at it and go, oh, that was better. So just roll with the punches as much as you can. Don't hold on too tightly, and just go with it. But so you'll want to know where Virgo, Aries, and Gemini are, and these are the areas where you want to be building, the Aries and Virgo, and disruptions or new ideas or new shakeups, or you might be able to bring some of this new stuff that's happening in the Gemini areas to support these. You just don't know what's coming yet. You don't know what the disruption is, and if it's going to feel like it's adding to, taking away, things like that. But whatever this disruption is, it's helping to not only activate this new moon energy and the healing that is going on over here with Chiron, but it also is activating this energy right here. So this disruption is working in our favor, no matter which way it feels like it's coming in. Anyway, I hope this has been wonderful. If you have enjoyed this, please like, give a comment. Also, if you want to know, I think I linked a card in earlier in the video about if you want to check out how to pull up your own chart. I also am going to be, I have a waitlist right now. I'm going to be teaching a beginner's astrology course. It's called Your First Astrology Course, taking you from learning how to pull up your own natal chart to learning about the signs, the houses, the planets, how to put it all together, learning about your big three, and then learning how to take these discussions and applying it to your own chart, how to kind of mold together, listening to your rising, your sun and moon, and how to really make the most of these forecasts for you. If you are interested in signing up for that course, I just have the waitlist open right now. I'm going to be opening registration at the end of this month and then starting teaching the course in September. So if you'd like to get on the waitlist, click in the description below and I'd love to see you sign up. I hope you have a wonderful day, and again, let me know how this is all manifesting, how you're feeling about this, and I will see you next time for the next video.